Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to the EBM Scholars Show. I'm sorry I haven't been able to make some few videos for a couple of days. The reason being I was finishing up my final book for the 2019. As I mentioned, each year I'm usually publishing 3 books. So the book PhD Scholarships for Africans in the United States of America is already published. It is already on Amazon. So I will talk about that book in another video, but that was something kept me from being able to upload videos. I was so much determined I have to make sure that I finish the book. The book has over 498 pages ready and it is on Amazon. So I will talk about the book later, but today I am going to talk about different ways on how you can discover your talent. A friend of mine asked me this question: at what time did you know you have a certain kind of talent, and how did you come to discover that talent, and what have you done with that talent? So welcome everyone to the EBM Scholars Show. This is Ernest Boniface Makulilo, EBM, and I'm here to make sure that I can answer a few questions or comments from some of the people, or people can ask me directly from my inbox on WhatsApp or Instagram. I can be able to answer those one. So the question was, how did you discover you have a talent? Because you know, many people, they sometimes even die without knowing that they have talent. You just grow up, you are born until you die, you do regular things, life continues, that's all. Yeah, so sometimes we are so much limited in our lives. So you might have maybe a talent of swimming, but you were born in an area where they don't have swimming pool, or there is no lake, there is no river, or something like that. So because you are not exposed to certain things, maybe you have that talent, but you cannot use it because technically you even do not know, because you are not in that environment. Maybe you have a talent of golf, but you have never seen, or you have never been to the golf course. Things of that nature. So sometimes those things happen. But I'm talking on things maybe you have been doing here and there, and you came to realize that, oh, maybe I'm good at this thing, I have a talent on this thing. And what was that talent? When did you come to discover that talent, and how are you working towards improving yourself? That is the topic for today. So you can go on here on the comment and share your experience. You can share just like even in a very high level, just what is your talent and at what time. Because some players, for instance, like maybe Kobe Bryant for the basketball, came to realize I have this talent. Some people, they are good at something. Maybe that is not their talent. For instance, I can give you an example. Maybe you can see maybe Steph Curry. Okay, he's the best shooter we have never seen in basketball. But remember, his father, Derrick Curry, was also the best shooter at the time when he played for NBA. So sometimes certain things you can do like your father, and you can be better than your father. Maybe because you were exposed to that one, maybe that is your talent. Sometimes that might not be your talent, but you are good at it, and you can take it to the next level. But overall, no matter what it is, what do you think you have a talent? Talent on doing something. Maybe you are good into speech. What have you done on that? You are good into writing. What have you done with that? You are good into playing soccer. You are being, some people, they are very good in analyzing maybe politics. Some people are good into just predicting soccer by looking the analytics, and they can say, okay, this is what is going to happen on the next game, West Ham versus maybe Everton. They can be able to know that, or they can be good at that one. For instance, if you follow maybe ESPN, you can know maybe Stephen Smith, whatever, is very good in analyzing. He played basketball, but he is very good, the best in analyzing, whether it's basketball, whether it's football, things of that nature. So there are some people, they are good in something versus another thing. So maybe I can start sharing my experience a little bit. It might be a little bit different from you. For me, I've never in my life considered myself one way or one day I'll come to become a writer of just books, and especially the books which are non-academic books. Growing up, okay, yes, I had opportunity to be living in the family of people who are academician, people who are just very good in school, perform very well, and go upper classes, do fantastic job in academics. My sisters, my brothers, I'm number 11 out of 13 children. So I had a very good path. People in front of me have done so much great things. So things in my mind, like one way or another, okay, obviously one day I was planning, okay, I'll become a lecturer, become a doctor, professor, that's all. Teacher at the university, be the best. So obviously, if you are thinking about becoming a lecturer, so obviously writing is part of your job description. You have to write books, you have to provide academic title, academic work, things of that nature. So I've been good into my junior high school, university, into writing presentation. But remember, there is a very big difference into writing academic work and non-academic work. So that is a very, very different. And especially in Africa, where I grew up, I didn't study into English medium school, international school. I studied into the normal schools. Yes, at one point I went to study in seminary. But the difference is, because you are not, English is not your language, first language. So English is another language. So you are good at writing sometimes versus maybe talking. It depends with person to person. But another thing which is different is when you are writing academic work is different from when you are writing non-academic work. I can give a simple example. For instance, I want to analyze about to write just an essay about the Industrial Revolution or just overall colonialism in Africa, imperialism. So when I'm writing, technically most of the academic work, it will contain a lot of more about academic jargon, academic vocabularies. So for instance, I can say, okay, the development of capitalism from industrial competitive capitalism to imperialism caused the colonization of African continent. The Berlin Conference of 1884-1885 was the landmark of official colonization of African continent. Africa was divided into, just like a bread on the loaf of bread on the table among the imperialistic powers. So I'm giving just simple like that way. If you look, like those are like 3, 4, 5 sentences, but all those sentences are not normal sentences, are technical vocabularies. When you say imperialism, capitalism, what I put the verb developed from, okay, industrial competitive capitalism. That is not English, it's just a technical terminology when it comes to history and economics. Then to imperialism, I just put the verb caused colonization of Africa. Those are not English like normal English. They are just related on that way. You see, Berlin Conference of whatever. So those are just technical terminology. So it's different. That's why usually I tell people, like, when you, for instance, when I came to America for the first time, there is a difference from the English we are using in Africa, especially talking to your colleagues, talking to classrooms. Was more academic related. But once you have a normal conversation, it a little bit changes. Like talking about, okay, today is Manchester United played against Juventus. Real Madrid played against Barcelona. Talking about Lionel Messi became the Ballon d'Or winner. Those are the English language, or the English you can be having conversation, which is not a technical, it's just a leisure. You can talk about love, you can talk about sport, you can talk about cooking without using those economics, political science terminologies. That is a different ball game. So, on my case, I came to realize that I'm good into writing. Okay, obviously I'm already in America. I came here in 2008. So I've been just like academic wise, writing in school, whatever. But in the year 2012 was kind of as a landmark for me. Why was the landmark for me? It was the landmark because in 2011, my son, Benedict, was born. February 10, 2011, my son was born. So in February 10th, 2012, exactly that day, it was a landmark. It was a game changer when I came to realize, when I came to discover I'm good into writing. Especially like not I'm writing academic so that I can get grades. Because on that day I was looking what kind of gift I can give to my son who just became 1 year old. A gift where my son will never forget in his entire life. If I buy shoes, he will never forget. I mean, he will forget, obviously. If I buy big cake, make a big celebration, it doesn't matter. It's just 1 year old boy. So my thing was, why can't I just write a letter and take this letter and give to my son, regift my son when he's older? So I wrote a letter, the first letter, and that letter, I can just quickly, sorry, I have to give, it became part of this book. So this book is just full of letters. So the first letter I wrote, it was called The Benedict Factor. So it was on his first birthday, February 10th, 2012. I wrote a letter to him addressing him, Dear Benedict, I love you, whatever. I wrote, like, it was not, it just was completely different from my MO, my style of writing. So I wrote that letter, which was like 2-3 pages, and I posted it on social media. I posted on Facebook, mostly, and I posted in some of the blogs. So when I posted that letter, I got so many comments, very positive comments from other people, to see the level of affection I showed, the level on how I was addressing someone who is 1 year old as if someone is grown up, and if trying as a father, projecting what things will be happening maybe in the future. What if I'm not around again? So it was more as a conversational to my son. So that letter, so when people say, okay, this is a very good letter, it gave me like, okay, so this is a good one. Then I didn't write another letter. On May 1st, the same year, 2012, was my wife and I's, our anniversary. So that was our second anniversary, wedding anniversary. So I said, okay, let me write another letter just as a gift to my wife to just honor the 2 years anniversary. So I wrote a letter to my wife, Dear my beloved wife, Marie, blah, 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 blah. It was another long letter. Boom. People liked it. So from that moment, so on every special occasion, I started writing letters. So writing those letters, it changed my way of writing. Yes, the first letter I took longer time to write, then it kept going quicker. So even now, if you tell me write a letter, even for instance to someone passed away, I can go deep down into the emotion, like what can I write? Write a letter about happiness, write a letter about someone is born, write a letter about someone is dead. I can just tune at any occasion. I can be able to write within a few seconds. I can write any kind of text you want me to write. So then from that moment, I started developing, okay, so I'm good at this one. I started writing letters. Then I went to the boot camp. I started writing a lot of letters to my son, to my wife. So all those that was 2012. So there are so many changes that started happening on that year. Then from that moment, I decided to, in the year 2015, I converted all those letters to this book. So when I ordered my book and saw the book, when I was reading my book, like, oh man, this is good. So that is like when I keep myself, how I was trying to improve myself. So I discovered my talent of writing very, very long. Almost I was 30 years old at that time. So you see, I didn't know that I have that talent until almost I'm about to be 30 years old at the year 2012. So at that time, okay, so this is the talent. So let me keep writing. So the more I'm keeping writing is the more I perfect my craft. The more I find different ways. What are my mistakes? So in simple way, how do you now improve your talent? Because if you have a talent and you don't improve, it's nothing. That's why there is a difference between the two best players of soccer, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, versus any other person, any other player on the planet ever played the game of football or soccer. Because these two individuals have been consistently playing at the highest level we have never seen in the game of football. for the past 10, 11 years. Every year, they give the statistics, the numbers which I've never seen. They win titles, they score individual awards, individual goals, 30, 35 goals in a calendar year, which it's completely like, why are these doing? Yes, these two individuals, they have talent, but they took their talent to next level. That means they keep themselves to be committed, they are dedicated, they follow instructions. They know every single day they have to eat correctly. They have to sleep exact number of hours. They have to practice. If you go, you find Lionel Messi is going to have exactly training. Apart from having a coach, he's having individual training. Cristiano Ronaldo is having individual training, even at his home, how to score a penalty, how to score a free kick. So you have to keep constantly doing. So for my case, what I've been doing is constantly, because now I want to perfect my skills. I have to perfect on my writing style. So I had to give a new meaning. I have to take my writing to the next level. So I gave myself a goal of writing 100 books. That means I want to keep this one something for entire life. That's the point. So I said, okay, if I write 3 books per year, so 100 books, obviously 99 books, I'll write them in 30 years. So obviously, now I'm 30-something years, I can be able to write until the age of 60. Even if I'm retiring, I can be able to sit down and just watch or just reading my books. I'll be having over 100 books. So that is how I keep myself improving myself. So I keep, this is a life-changing a way I can keep myself doing this one for the rest of my life. So for the next 30 years, each year I have a commitment of writing 3 books. So I don't want to slow down at all. I'll keep doing this one. So that is how I do. So what I do, like, and more into that, is just like how I can keep myself better, how I can find different tools and the resources of improving my writing. So for instance, I have to find, oh, there is a website called Grammarly. Oh, there is a tool on how I can create a book cover on myself. Oh, there is a way how I can publish my books on Amazon for free. Oh, there is this tool, I can do this one, it can simplify my work. So every single day, I'm finding different tools, finding different resources on how I can be a better writer, how I can keep writing books and put them there. So I don't care about the money. For me, I care now about how I can keep my talent keep going and how I can keep my legacy. That's what matters. That's why most of my books are mostly free, or they're $2, $1, $5. I don't care about the money at the moment. I want to put 100 books on the internet. That's my goal. So when I'm gone on this planet Earth, everybody saw, oh, there was one guy called Ernest Boniface Makulilo EBM. Man, that guy was another Shakespeare. Whatever it is you want to call me, yeah. So that is how it is. So that's, I was trying to answer the question, at what time I came to discover I have a talent. Oh, on your case, what age? When did you discover you have a talent, and what have you done about your talent? How are you going to perfect your skills? How are you going to keep constantly improving your skills? So that is on my case. But I know you have a talent. I know you have different ways on how you are keeping constantly improving yourself. So share with us, what is your talent? I know you might have more than one talent. That's why, for instance, if people are following sports, there are some of the individuals, some of the players in different sports, they have maybe 2 or 3 sports. For instance, Deion Sanders, the prime time, those who are following American football, he was the best cornerback of ever in NFL in America, but also he played at highest level with the baseball. So you can be best in both sports, both ends. So there are those people that are best on both ends. So what are your talents if you have more than one talent? But overall, how are you going to do to keep yourself constantly improving and use your God-given talent? Remember this quotation: everybody has a talent. Find a way to discover your God's masterpiece. You don't need to be Steve Jobs. You don't need to be Oprah. You have your talent because you are God's masterpiece. Find different ways to improve yourself, to discover your inner self, discover your talent, and keep improving every single day. And never depend only on your talent to succeed. Use your talent and perfect, improve every single day. So thank you everyone. and all the best in discovering your talent and keep yourself improving. Again, remember to subscribe to my channel and share the video to everyone. Goodbye, everyone.